This segment is sponsored by Our Home Magazine.
I'm delighted to be joined by our next guest, Jamie Coffey, a very familiar face in this Richmond area scene. Jamie, it's wonderful to catch up with you.
It is so good to see you and be kind of in person, kind of having a real conversation. I think is awesome.
That's right. As close as we can get. You are on to a new adventure. Remind everybody you're a big part of this community with your work with Williams and Sherrill. And then, of course, that evolved. And now here we are.
So it's been a year and, what a year it's been, So I kind of just sat down and said, now's your time. Figure out, what do you want to do? What do you love? What do you want? What do you need? What are you good at? And so I kind of just took a few days and journaled a lot, wrote a lot, broke down a lot of it and said, what do you want? I love helping people. I love communicating with people. I love helping our design community. And I love the vendors that I had relationships with, and I didn't want to lose any of that. So I started a designer showroom, a mobile designer showroom that I help designers out when they're in projects. And I have just joined the Flourish Collective, which will be kind of a in-person showroom that'll open hopefully mid to late November. So more to come.
Well, it is an exciting adventure. And who would know that happening a year ago where Williams and Sherrill closed? Of course, you were helping so many folks in the community there as part of that team. Who would have known that experience would then prepare you now? And I was reading in some of the background that, your love language, and you suggested that really is entertaining and helping people. So you had this time of reflection, and now here's the new adventure.
Well, and now, there's a new adventure with this. There's also, how to make your home a haven, not just a place that exists around you, but making it part and extension of you. And that's where I think, really design gets into functionality of your life and knowing, you have 12 kids, you have 3 dogs, how do you make all of that work? And really be your haven. And I think now more than everything, because we've all kind of become one with our couches, that, there is this thing of what's the perfect one for me? And that takes time. And it really takes a relationship to do that.
It sure does. We've got about 3 minutes left, and we got a lot of ground to cover. You're featured in this current issue of Our Home Magazine. Of course, we're on the cusp of holiday entertaining, and that's one of those times that this haven experience becomes even more elevated.
And I think this year, especially, because we're not sure right now, we are not sure what it's going to be. Because at any day we could open up, or at any day we could shut down. So it's just it's about being prepared, I think, more than ever. Doing a little extra shopping now, having your pantry ready, having your table linens ready, having all of that kind of done so you can be a little more ready for when it comes.
That's great advice. It is thinking ahead in terms of what are my traditions? What do I use for those traditions? And what will I need? And making sure you already have that on hand.
And what traditions do you need to break this year? If doing a tree stresses you out every year, don't do a tree this year. Focus on doing some great evergreen florals. Do some really good food presentation. Take the stress out of it so that you can enjoy it and really live in it this year and experience it.
I feel like I know the answer to this question, though. We're not going to ignore the holidays, right? You don't want to hopscotch over this opportunity.
Not at all. I did a lot of research about World War I and II and how they kept on celebrating. We have to have things to look forward to, because if not, it just gets to be too much on anybody. So we have to have these highlights in our life and these special things. So make sure when you're going to the grocery store, pick up something a little more special. Pick up the flowers. Pick up the things you order. Pick up a great jar of sauce or a great pasta. Make it a little more special.
Great insight. And of course, I like that idea of thinking ahead, buying ahead. You've got a couple of other hacks to share with us. I love the idea of picking up the flowers, using the evergreen if the tree's not your jam, right?
Yeah.
But other hacks that you're ready to share.
Yep. Let me flip my paper over. I love, like, we have the senses are such part of what we do. And I think, like, boiling up some orange peel and some cinnamon and some cloves, making your house smell like the holidays is part that gets you involved in it. Again, stock up on your supplies now, because we don't know. The supply chain's tenuous, so go on and get it now. I love creating gifts that you can add to and take away from, depending on how much you want to spend for the person, and things you can do in mass. So making an oyster fry kit, which is in the magazine. That way you can put pieces and parts of that gift together for each individual person. And I think when it comes to entertaining this year, that we can give the gift of entertaining by giving an entertaining gift. So something you can drop off at somebody's doorstep. Instead of, if you're not having people into your home, give it to them anyway, because it's part of who you are.
That's right. Sharing the experience, making it special for yourself and those that are around you. Jamie Coffey, great ideas. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Jessica. Good to see you.
Great to see you. Your new adventure, XOJ. We will include a direct link so folks can learn more. And thank you for sharing these holiday hacks and holiday season inspiration.
I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Absolutely. And you can pick up the current issue of Our Home magazine. It's on newsstands now.
Find Our Home magazine on newsstands today or subscribe at richmondmagazine.com/home. You'll find them on Facebook at Our Home Magazine and on Instagram at Our Home Mag.